What's up everybody? Welcome back to Make It Custom. I'm Carl Fisher and today's video is a little bit different. We're doing something a little different today. A friend of mine's father, who's also an avid subscriber, he has passed away suddenly and he's asked me to make an urn for him. So I wasn't actually filming any of this originally and I had talked to him and if he thought it'd be okay to video it and kind of like put this little video dedication out to him. So here's to you, Woody. Thank you very much for all your support over the years, and may you rest in peace. This is what we're working on today. Let's get into it. All right, so for Woody's final resting place, I think that, I talked with my friend a little bit, with Dusty, and he thinks that like something patinaed and something kind of cool, something welded. He really likes the work that we do on Make It Kustom and at Japhandskustoms. So we're gonna kind of do this like car related thing. This guy's a really cool guy, and he did some racing in the past few years with Dusty. They've kind of both had drag cars on the track. Yeah, so we're gonna do something car related. So what I got started already is this. So I've got Cadillac valve covers that I've cut in half, and I'm kind of thinking about this as like almost looking like a pillar, like something a little different than a traditional urn. So I'm thinking like this, something like that, and then this kind of Monza style gas cap as the top of the vessel. And then for the base, I cut out these plates here. They're 3 plates that I was kind of thinking, there's 3 beads here. It's kind of, I don't know what style you would call that, if you'd say it's Art Deco, if it's actually a little bit later, but whatever it is, I was thinking about stacking the base like this to take, the 3 plates like that, and this would be sort of the idea. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little bit cool with the way it's welded and kind of put together. I think I'm gonna probably weld the whole outside of this, and then like that might be done in steel or stainless or something. And then the base, I would like to round the edges, like kind of grind them nice and round, or bevel them or something, clean these plates up, like make the base really nice, and then use silicon bronze or silica bronze filler and TIG weld the corners all the way around. That's my plan anyway. So you're gonna get a little bit of sheet metal fab and sheet metal welding with TIG, and we're gonna get into how to weld silicon bronze. Silica bronze or silicon bronze? Hey Elio, is it silicon bronze or silica bronze?
Pardon me?
Is it silicon bronze or silica bronze?
Silica.
Silica bronze, he says.
I think it's silicon.
Okay, so right now I've just been kind of sanding some of this stuff, taking some of the angle grinder marks out of it, just so it all kind of looks like it's gone in the right direction. These were totally painted, and to be honest, I started stripping them with aircraft stripper and sanding them to make them super clean. But after talking with Dusty about it, he really liked the look of it, and so do I. Like, I think it's got so much character, you know? But anyway, I want to make the weld seam pretty nice. So some of this rippled edge here, I don't know if you can see in the camera too well, but I'm going to try and take care of some of that and make it a little bit nicer fitting. Because right now, they don't fit perfect, and you know, some spots are tight and some spots aren't. So I'd like to kind of like fit and file these. So what I've got is just one of my heavy dollies. I'm just gonna throw it on the inside, and then I probably won't need a sandbag. Actually, a sandbag up against this side might be nice. There we go. So I got the sandbag here. This is a good time to use our homemade file slapper. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'll throw it in the description. We made this beautiful little slapper out of just an old file. Anyway, I'll put that in there. So I'm gonna use the flat side of the dolly. Just gonna go along and Now the principle behind using flat and flat, like you could try and smooth this out with just a hammer and a dolly, and you know, you probably do just fine. But when you have something that is totally flat and totally flat, you're distributing the weight of your hit a little bit nicer, so that you're just getting the two, like you're just getting the bumps out, but you don't have enough power by doing this to actually stretch it. That is the enemy, is stretching it. So it's nice that you can use a slapper and something flat, and you're pretty confident you're not gonna stretch this. Because if you use the hammer and a dolly and you hit it too much, this would start to wave because you've stretched. Okay, I'm just gonna hammer this out, no pun intended, and give it a little file fit. So I kind of like it just the way it is. I'm gonna leave that. I think that the patina of my welds just kind of scuffed and dark spots in them. It just matches this. And if I were to make this weld gold like bronze or use stainless, maybe it would take away from the patina, like the natural look of this. So I like it. I'm gonna maybe make a contrasting base where the base is a little bit shinier and more polished is what I'm thinking. So the next thing I'm gonna work on now is the base. So these 3 plates, I'm gonna start prepping them, cleaning them, and then deciding what the edges are gonna look like. And then I think I'm gonna weld these with silicone bronze. So, oh, just quick, if you are wondering what this is, that's the first time I've used it. This is from KBC Tools. This is a deburring tool that has like an interchangeable carbide cutter, like from a lathe, and it eats steel for breakfast. Like, it's pretty impressive, actually. Not a sponsored thing or anything, but I'm just saying, look at that. Like, if you wanted to do that, how else would you do that, you know? In steel. Anyway, didn't know that was possible. It's like a little baby router. Look how tiny it is. It's cute. Anyway, I'm almost thinking like I don't want to weld the base anymore because it kind of looks, you know, looks nice like that. Like, I was going to weld in here, but because of how big of a chamfer that is and kind of how it is, I kind of like it. I might actually try and sand the grains going this way on the chamfer, maybe to kind of help that edge. And then I will silicone bronze weld this to the base. But to attach these three pieces together, I think I'm going to drill holes in them and then weld inside the holes so that they're stuck together, the three pieces stacked, but you won't be able to see the weld. Do you know what I mean? Whether or not I welded up here as well. This is for the cap. I should have cleaned this tubing a little bit better, but it welded pretty nice, so it's okay. But I was thinking about welding over top with the silicone bronze as well, just because, like, what you'll see it at the bottom, like it looks nice. But when I try and make that wire look nice, it's easier to do it after it's already been welded. It's kind of a bit of a cheat. Sometimes I have a little bit of trouble, like especially butt welding or any kind of gaps with the silicone bronze filler. If you have to like vary your amperage, it makes it a little bit more difficult. It really likes consistency because you want to keep the temperature lower than the melting point of steel. I was having this conversation with Elio because he's struggling with it a little bit like how I also struggle with it. But here is the struggle. Silicone bronze, it looks great because you're only seeing the bronze. Now, if you heat your amperage too hot that it goes past the melting point of steel, then the steel is actually mixing in with the bronze and it doesn't look good. So the whole point of silicone bronze is that it has a lower melting temperature where it actually kind of, it's like brazing. It adheres with heat to the steel, but it's not melting into it per se. So that is kind of the difference, and that is the struggle. Like, if you really want to drop nice dimes of silicone bronze, you have to just be very aware of and consistent with your heat. I'm not saying I'm going to even be able to pull that off. Like, if you're doing thick steel to thick steel, it's like something that's pretty easy to do, but I'm going to try and weld this tin valve cover to this thick steel, and I don't know, I'm just not super practiced at it, so I'm going to give it my best shot anyway. But that's kind of next. I'm going to weld these three stacks together, and then I'm going to weld this to this, probably with just steel filler, and then I want to silicone bronze weld that as nice as I can to add a little some. Okay, I'm actually just gonna go for it with the silica bronze. The gap, the weld gap is really nice and tight. So I think that I can do it. We will find out.
Feel like I'm getting my groove now. Still a little bit weird. Stuff welds a little weird.
It's a little dirty, but I'm trying to just throttle my little beads.
I'm throttling up as I'm adding filler. Just kind of watching that it grows to the right size bead. Try not to stick around too long. Don't want to overheat anything. I should have ground a little bit more paint off. I can see how it's contaminating a little bit here, but it's throwing it away, I guess. Ugh. This is not like that.
Okay, well, unfortunately, I screwed up this weld, and the reason being is I didn't clean the paint good enough. But you can see it was going pretty good. Like that weld would have been nice. So it's worth redoing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this out with a zip cut. I'm gonna clean everything up. I'm gonna trim back a little bit more of this paint, try and sand it really nice. I might even wire wheel the inside of this and just make sure it's like ultra clean. Because if it's ultra clean and I try my hardest, I think I could make a pretty weld. Okay, here goes nothing. Come on. That first tack didn't look too good. It was looked as if it was contaminated, or if I had no welding gas, but my gas is on. Hopefully my gas is not out. Try again. Maybe too much tungsten sticking out, which shouldn't be the case, but just double check. Positioning. Slight tweak. Okay. Okay. Look at that, we got a tack. Okay, the other side. Yep. Another one here. Always got to make sure you got strong tacks, because when you start welding, those tacks start popping. You know, it's trying to fight the distortion, basically. So just get a few on here. Don't need a ton. All right, and we are back to silicon bronze. Hopefully this thing is in good enough shape to weld now. again. Got a little bit of blue on this thing. Could have been horrible. Okay, what I've got here, this is called a 2K clear. What 2K means is that it's just two parts. So it's kind of crazy, it's in a can and it's two parts. It means it has a hardener. It's a real automotive clear. But this particular one is a this is a satin clear or a matte clear. So the cool thing about these 2K cans is that you actually pull the top off, you stick it on the bottom, and there's like a second puncture in the can at the bottom, and then you just go. Yeah, so it punctures it, and now it's actually mixing the second part. I'm going to let this light coat get tacky before I do it. Alright, that satin finish is actually looking awesome on here. It really kind of like mellows everything out, kind of ties it all together. This is coat number 3. I don't think it really needs it, but let's use up this can and give it as much protection as possible. Also, something to note with this 2K can, you gotta use it. You don't use it, you lose it literally with this stuff because you mixed it with the hardener. So if I don't paint anything with satin clear, you know, that's little in the next couple of days, like I spent the money on this can, it's that's all we're gonna get out of it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it another coat, and I think we're gonna call it done, other than gluing the cap on. Okay, so let's have a look at this thing. Very happy with the way the welding turned out. It did turn out very nice. Could have been better, but 100% good enough, as we say around Make It Custom. So here it is. Let's talk about the welding first. So when doing this kind of welding, what I like to do is, like, by the time I really got the hang of it, I was not pulsing my foot at all. I was kind of keeping a constant puddle going, and I was just like moving forward, and then I'd come back and I'd add filler, and I'd move forward and I'd come back and I'd add filler. So that is my technique anyway for silica bronze, is like move forward, come back, add filler, and just be very aware of your heat. That is the main takeaway. As far as how this thing turned out with that matte clear, I do really like the matte clear. I think it worked out nice. It kind of keeps that patina look. It's not shiny and kind of obnoxious. It's just elegant. So I hope that you guys dig that as much as I do. The next thing is the cap. The cap needs a good polish, so I'm probably gonna just use the DA with some 600 grit, because it's not too bad. There's a few scratches in there. I might have to go a little better than 600, but we'll do 600 with the DA, or maybe 400 and 600, and then we'll go to the polisher. And then what I'm going to use is silicone to glue that on. If you didn't know, silicone, like RTV silicone, what you use to seal up engines and stuff, works as a glue between metals pretty good, actually, or between anything. It's just really sticky. Like, it's so sticky, it sticks to everything. So I'm probably going to glue this on with silicone after this is polished, and then we're going to call that done. I think Woody's going to be happy with his new home. And anyway, that is that. Okay, well, there you have it. I'm really happy with the way this thing turned out. I had the idea and I kind of wasn't sure what way to go, and it all worked out in the end. Some of these pieces I had in the shop already. As some of you may guess, these came from the Cadillac, but we're not using that engine anymore, so these valve covers were up for grabs. Very happy with the way it turned out, because to be honest, and please post your opinions in the comments. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. I was thinking that originally I was going to not do patina on this. So I was like using aircraft stripper, and I was trying to strip this paint off, you know, and try and get it down to bare metal. And then I was going to keep it all nice and clean, and kind of like too clean. You know, I was talking to Dusty about it, and he's like, "No, man, he likes patina. He didn't want me to paint his car. Like, he had this drag car that stayed all patina, and so he would probably dig the patina." So we just kind of like sanded it a little bit further, and you know, welded it up with TIG. Used silica bronze on the bottom. Really stoked. Really stoked. And me and Elio had talked about it as well with this base. Like, originally I was thinking I was going to weld there and there, and then I was like, well, maybe it's kind of clean, I could just weld here. He's like, no, hidden welds by plug welding through. That was his idea. So basically everybody kind of came together, and it happened exactly how it was supposed to. I think it looks beautiful. I sent some pictures to Dusty. He enjoys it. He thinks that Woody would have approved, and so anyway, got a couple more special touches from Pinstriper Friend that are going to go on here, but I'm going to end the video here for now. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, click subscribe, hit notifications, and check out the profiling tool on the last video if you have not already. We are in full production swing of those, and we've got a few extras that'll be ready to go at the same time as the rest of them. And if you had ordered after the initial 10, I'm hoping to get all those out like faster than I said they would be on the site there. So things are coming together. I'm just waiting on a couple parts, and thank you all so much for your support. It's been incredible. So as always, we'll see you on the next one. Take her easy.